This is QTV Nightly News. I am Umudu Gajaga and thank you for joining us. Here are the news headlines. During the continuation of the consideration stage of the Elections Bill 2021, deputies today engaged in a heated debate over a clause concerning the preparations of the voters list as it relates to Gambians in the diaspora. Alhaji Usman Jah, a renowned Islamic scholar and Imam of Taqwa Mosque, has urged Muslims to fully embrace the blessings of Ramadan, placing special emphasis on the night of decree Laylatul Qadr. The National Leprosy and Tuberculosis Control Program under the Ministry of Health and in collaboration with its partners held a press briefing to commemorate World TB Day on Monday. On Tuesday, the Kombo South District Humanitarian Committee of the Gambia Supreme Islamic Council donated boxes of Qurans and catering utensils to the Gambia Prison Service. In sports news, Gambia's World Cup hopes were dashed after a narrow 1-0 defeat to African champions Ivory Coast in Abidjan on Monday night. Those were the news headlines, now the news in detail. Welcome and thank you for joining us. This is QTV News. During the continuation of the consideration stage of the Elections Bill 2021, deputies today engaged in a heated debate over a clause concerning the preparations of the voters list as it relates to Gambians in the diaspora. Aliou Cisse was at the chambers and he now reports.
At the continuation of the process chaired by Deputy Speaker C.D. Eskinjai, deputies took time to scrutinize the bill clause by clause, making amendments where necessary. Clause 23 of the bill on preparation of list of voters stipulates that the Independent Electoral Commission must publish a list of voters for each constituency for at least 10 days within the relevant administrative area and in foreign countries for Gambians in the diaspora. However, a proposed amendment suggested removing the reference to Gambians in the diaspora as the current bill omits provision for diaspora voting, rendering the clause redundant.
Once Parliament has taken a decision on deleting Section 14, not to allow diaspora, it is in line, that spirit, for consistency purposes now, to tidy up Clause 24, so that prohibition of double registration, a person shall not be entitled to register as a voter in more than one constituency at any time. To let go or a foreign country because there is no provision for that. We should not create ambiguity in our laws.
Anything that is attached to clause 14 in the bill should also go. Because if it comes to light, for example, both sides of the house, we can all contest what is attached to section clause 14 of this bill. We can contest it, and you can contest it as well. What is proper for us to do now, Honorable Chair? If you contest, give us the right to vote and then proceed with that particular amendment. The submission by the majority leader is in line because this particular line is an adjustment and is very much attached to clause 14 of the elections bill.
No point of order.
Point of order. All right. Okay. Order.
This proposal sparked strong disagreement among National Assembly members, with opposition leaders arguing that the provisions will be retained in anticipation of a possible future instatement of diaspora voting.
Don't tell me that the ICEC doesn't have the money to conduct elections. And the spirit of this diaspora, demarcation of the diaspora, is that the world has advanced and we have now lived in a global village.
Any decision that is taken is the Parliament, and all of us are insulted. We have to avoid this thing. Government has a reason for putting this in there. Why should we be able on this, changing things on our own to be insulted by Gambian people? We have to think critically and make sure that we allow our people. Let us not be part of issues where we are going to disenfranchise our own people. Diaspora can be registered anywhere they are, under any constituency where they come from. This is very possible. That's why I said all is not over. Let's allow the process to go on. Leave the diaspora as such for the sleeping dog to lie. Then we correct the mistake on 14.
The Election Bill 2021 was first tabled in 2021 to repeal the current Election Act in line with best practices to achieve the cardinal principles to free and fair elections in the Gambia. The consideration stage of the bill continues. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Alhaji Usman Jah, a renowned Islamic scholar and Imam of Taqwa Mosque, has urged Muslims to fully embrace the blessings of Ramadan, placing special emphasis on the night of decree Laylatul Qadr. More in this report by Julian Jai.
Laylatul Qadr falls during the last 10 nights of and typically sought on the odd-numbered nights. It is a time for heightened devotion, prayer and reflection, as believers believe their prayers are more likely to be accepted on this night than any other time during the year.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or true Prophet Muhammad sallallahu says, Man sama Ramadana imanan wa ihtisaban ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbi. He who fasts the month of Ramadan based on his belief that it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and he should obey all instructions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you do it properly, Allah will forgive you all your past sins.
According to Islamic teachings, Laylatul Qadr is a night unlike any other, a time when mercy flows abundantly and the destiny of the coming year is determined. Imam Usman Jah emphasizes that Laylatul Qadr is not only a moment to seek blessings, but also an opportunity for a profound connection that draws believers closer to Allah.
What Allah promised those who fast Ramadan properly, the same thing He promised it for those who obey Him during Laylatul Qadr. That also gave the significance of Laylatul Qadr, because the Holy Quran was revealed in the night of Qadr. And night of Qadr is within the nights of Ramadan, and Ramadan is the best month among the 12 months that constitute the year.
Imam Jah encourages Muslims to approach Laylatul Qadr with complete devotion and unwavering faith.
Allahumma innaka afuwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. This is the best of what we should do, but it's not the limit. The gate is open for us to exercise any kind of worship, either praying, reciting the Holy Quran, reading the Holy Quran, or making dhikr, or salatu ala nabi.
Imam Jah said that while the exact night of Laylatul Qadr remains uncertain, Muslims should dedicate the last 10 nights of Ramadan to increase devotion and worship.
Worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that night has more value than worshipping Allah in 1,000 nights. And not only that, because of that, all angels, including their leader, will come down to earth in order to achieve blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
According to Islamic teachings, prayers and supplications made on this night are considered more powerful and are more likely to be accepted by Allah. It is a time for Muslims to seek forgiveness, reflect on their faith, and strengthen their connection with Allah. For QTV News, I am Julden Jai.
The National Leprosy and Tuberculosis Control Program, NLTP, under the Ministry of Health and in collaboration with its partners, held a press briefing today to commemorate World TB Day and raise awareness about the tuberculosis and a leading cause of death worldwide. Yafatu Gay tells us more.
Tuberculosis is the second leading infectious killer disease after COVID-19 and the 13th leading cause of death worldwide. Tuberculosis, TB, remains a major public health issue in the Gambia, with high prevalence in both urban and rural areas. Factors like overcrowding, malnutrition, and limited healthcare access worsen its spread. The recent press briefing brought together health professionals, stakeholders, and community leaders to discuss strategies for tackling TB in the country. Mohamed Lamin Dabo, the Monitoring and Evaluation Officer for the NLTP, gave a presentation on the causes, signs, and symptoms of tuberculosis.
TB is not spread by household utensils. I think this has been a misconception that we have in our communities for quite some time, where if you have TB, you are isolated, your food is given to you separately. Gone are those days. TB patients can eat with us, they can be with us, they can share utensils with us, as long as they are on treatment and they are adhering to the regimen that is being given to them by their healthcare workers.
TB remains a major global health challenge, causing 1.2 million deaths annually. Despite progress in prevention and control, it continues to affect millions worldwide. Dr. Nathan Bakyaita, the WHO country representative, highlighted the progress made in controlling tuberculosis in the Gambia.
So health centers have been equipped with rapid diagnostics tests like GeneXpert, improving early detection and more accurate diagnosis.
Sekou Sanyang, a representative from the National AIDS Secretariat, NAS, and Abdou K. Silla, a representative from MRC Gambia, urged the public to get tested for TB to ensure early detection and effective treatment.
Once you are HIV positive, it's your right to demand for TB test. And equally, if you are also TB positive, it's your right to demand for HIV test. Because testing is the best gateway to treatment, care, and support. There is an urgent need to commit, invest, deliver in the fight against the world's deadliest infectious disease, which continue to affect millions, leading to severe loss of lives, social and catastrophic consequences.
Moditi Nyasi is the representative of the Minister of Health.
While we have made progress over the years, the road ahead demands unwavering commitment, increased investment, and efficient healthcare delivery. Ending TB requires strong commitment to all levels: government, health institutions, private sectors, and communities.
TB is preventable and curable, but remains a major health issue, especially in areas with limited healthcare, poor living conditions, and high HIV rates. Early detection and proper treatment are key in controlling its spread. The NLTP is urging individuals who have been coughing for 2 weeks or more to visit their nearest health facility and get tested for free. Reporting for QTV News, this is Yafa Tugay.
From that story now to a commercial break, and when we return, we'll bring you other stories, international and sports news.
fii mooy fan fii mooy Inessa di place bi nga xam ne moom la ñëpp taam place bi bépp xeetu ataaya bu baax rek bu dugg see ci dëkk bi xamal li fii rek la am bara wërga bii neex na lool saf na ba pare tamit nag am gu bu neex boo ko naanee rek da ngay kontaan ci saas añ ba suur ba gëreesal li nga lekk jëndal baara ataaya bii ndax moom la ñëpp taam gis nga sama client bii ataaya bu neex bu ne moom laa koy njëkk a jox ndax moom kat ataaya bu neex rek lay wër baara wërga bii mooy wërga bi gën te moo gën a saf kon nag ràññee leen ko bu baax kon daw leen gaaw ca Banjul foofu ca Inessa di place bi nga xam ni foofu rek nga ko mën a amee wholesale wala retail mu ngi foofu ci boori court house bi foofu ca Banjul wala nga daw ci bépp marché bépp supermarket bépp boutique fépp foo dugg rek di nga mën a am baara warga bii nga xam ne moom la ñëpp di wër tey baara warga moo dàq ci warga yi man maa ngi ci moom ndax su ma maree ataaya moom rek lay naan.
Fantankano TV lale TV wistero aninga jararo Gambia loptanol to abikajo.
Let's ensure that no child or adolescent's life or future is threatened by TB.
Nde nawnare TB ida way dun dandude fi wata nange kono non si tawi ne nawnare TB ida wondi e mayre ida way nyawndare do e nder Gambia te ayobata hay fus
kala hikana tunanti jango ke be wati TB sahare wadi angana kita maga kanu nanti anga kalla anatu nanti haga angana daga hopital hagi gode anta tugana so kono na tukundu kana mogo tukundu nanti TB sahare wadi angana daga anta hagi gode tugana
TB di jangoro buño oye tuberculosis mun nga see fagaru te tamit mun nga see faju su fekkee ne am nga ko te doo si fay dara fii si réewi Gambia.
Being diagnosed with tuberculosis is not a death sentence. The disease is curable. Diagnosis and treatment is absolutely free in the Gambia.
Welcome back and thank you for joining us. This is QTV News. On Tuesday, the Kombo South District Humanitarian Committee of the Gambia Supreme Islamic Council donated catering utensils and boxes of Quran to the Gambia Prison Service. Ansumana Isonyasi witnessed the ceremony at the prison headquarters in Banjul, and he now reports.
This donation is intended to improve the living conditions of inmates, particularly their nutrition, while also promoting a sense of community and spirituality during their rehabilitation at the State Central Prison. During the ceremony, Alhaji Esa Dabo, President of the Supreme Islamic Council, and Alhaji Mohamed Lamin Toure, Chairman of the Kombo South District Humanitarian Committee, commended the prison administration for its ongoing partnership and contribution to national development. They highlighted the crucial role the prison plays in rehabilitating convicts, many of whom they believe will reintegrate into society and lead meaningful lives after their release. They also mentioned that donated items were sourced from personal contributions made by the committee members. Additionally, they assured the prison administration of their continued support.
The amount is not a matter, but what is important is to teach others to do what they are doing. Because if the imams, we all know the situation of imams in the country. If they start to take out something from their pockets, put it together to support people, especially prisoners, I think it is duty of all Gambians to emulate them on that.
We are just, our committee is barely 3-4 months old. We are just kicking off. So this is where we started. We are starting, and we hope that we'll grow up to cover the whole nation. Although we are Kombo South, but we are not seeing ourselves as people who are going to benefit only the people of Kombo South. No. We want to benefit the whole Gambia, even beyond.
Modu Jaju and Keta M. Sedi, Deputy Director Generals 1 and 2 of the Gambia Prison Service, expressed their gratitude to the Supreme Islamic Council and the Kombo South District Committee for their generous donation of these essential items. Highlighting the importance of the donated items in improving inmate conditions, they told GSIC officials that the gesture couldn't have come at a better time as they continue to face several challenges, including a shortage of catering utensils. They assured that the donated items would be distributed among the inmates as intended.
The balls that you brought, if you don't have enough balls, at the end of the day, there will be no security inside there. And I just want to assure you, on behalf of the Prisons Department, especially my Director General and the inmates at large, they could have been here, but they cannot be here. So I want to thank you, and please, the assurance is given that the items that you brought, we are going to dispose them to the beneficiaries.
And this contribution would contribute to that, because this is what we call a second chance act, a hope. You are giving hope to the prisoners. There are people, yes, they will have confidence. This is a confident building in there. Yarafa, mandi kolka molbe janala mulyalonko, even nalakol miraka. Molbe jala mulyalon, they are concerned about our well-being. So it's high time for also change. So this is very good. It doesn't matter, it's one ball. It's the intention. That's what is important.
Since the change of government in 2017, the Gambia Prison Service has initiated a series of reforms and has received widespread praise for the improvement in the living conditions of inmates. However, like many government departments, the prison still faces its own set of challenges. Despite this, officials believe that the continued support and collaboration from both public and private organizations, many of these challenges can be effectively addressed. Ansumane Sonyasi for QTV News.
From that report by Ansumane Sonyasi, now to international news. Every year on March 25th, the world celebrates the International Day of Remembrance of Victims of Slavery in order to honor the people who suffered and lost their lives to slavery. The day also intends to raise awareness about evil practices like racism and injustices. Our Bob Asmo.
The theme for the 2025 International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery and the Transatlantic Slave Trade is Acknowledge the Past, Repair the Present, Build a Future of Dignity and Justice. This theme emphasizes the need to confront the historical atrocities of the transatlantic slave trade, address their lasting effects, and work towards a future grounded in dignity, justice, and equality for all. According to the United Nations, for over 400 years, more than 15 million men, women, and children were victims of the transatlantic slave trade, one of the most horrific violations of human rights in history. The commemorations serve as a poignant reminder of the millions of lives lost and the lasting legacy of slavery that continues to impact societies today. Portugal was the first country to establish maritime trade with the people on the African coast. By 1456, they had already reached the Gambia, but in 1588, Portugal sold the exclusive rights to the Gambia River to English merchants. Shortly after this, part of the Gambia was leased by Poland, part of modern-day Latvia and Lithuania. The Coloners lived amicably with the Gambians, having established an enduring and respectful relationship with the King of Nyomi and the Chief of Jufre. And Jufre is the home of Kunta Kinte, a notable victim of slavery. James Island was taken over by the British in 1661, a mere decade after the Coloners had founded it. The French and the British fought for political and commercial rule over the Senegal and the Gambia rivers for the better part of the late 17th century and into the 18th century. The battle ended in 1783 when the Treaty of Versailles gave control over the Gambia River back to the British. The profound contributions of enslaved Africans extend far beyond their forced labor, underscoring their skills, knowledge, and cultural influence on societies throughout the Americas. These contributions have significantly shaped the social, cultural, and economic landscapes of the region, yet they are often overlooked and underappreciated. For QTV News, I am Awa Bob.
Now to sports news. Gambia's World Cup's hopes were dashed after a narrow 1-0 defeat to AFCON champions Ivory Coast in Abidjan on Monday night during March Day 6 of the FIFA World Cup qualifiers. More in this report. Ivory Coast extended their lead at the top of the group with a hard-fought 1-0 victory over the Gambia. The victory brought their points tally to 16, giving them a 1-point advantage over Gabon and ending Gambia's hopes of qualifying for their first World Cup. The decisive moment came in the 15th minute of the game when Sebastian Haller scored the only goal of the match. Simon Adingra provided a perfect assist, setting up Haller, who calmly slotted his header past the Gambian goalkeeper Ibrahima Jaju to give Ivory Coast the lead. Despite both teams pushing for more goals in the second half, Ivory Coast looking to extend their lead and Gambia searching for an equalizer, the match remained scoreless after the break. Strong defensive performances from both sides kept the scoreline intact until the final whistle. However, Gambia improved in the second half, creating at least 3 clear goal-scoring chances, but failed to capitalize. 2 of those opportunities fell to Aliou Fadera, who was unable to convert on either occasion. Coach Jonathan McKinstry responded to the defeat.
I think today is one of those games where you realize football is not always fair. We played a good game, and we played a very good game. We created a lot of chances, and that's where we fell down. We didn't convert the chances. The Ivorian goalkeeper has done very well. The defenders have done very well in terms of last-ditch emergency defending. But, you know, we had 5 or 6 really good chances. So it's one of those games. I think had we drawn or won the game, I don't think anyone could have complained. I think it's probably been a very long time since the supporters or the media here have seen a team come to Abidjan and play like that against Côte d'Ivoire. So, yeah, we're very disappointed. We thought we had a very good game, but we need to score the chances when we get them.
With this crucial victory, Ivory Coast reaffirmed their dominance in the group, moving closer to securing qualification. The Elephants now turn their focus to the upcoming fixtures, determined to maintain their top spot. Meanwhile, the Gambia remains on just 4 points from 6 matches, with 4 games to go. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News. Now, before we end this news bulletin, here's a recap of our main news headlines. During the continuation of the consideration stage of the Elections Bill 2021, deputies today engaged in a heated debate over a clause concerning the preparations of the voters list as it relates to Gambians in the diaspora. A renowned Islamic scholar and Imam of Taqwa Mosque, Al-Hajj Osman Jah, has urged Muslims to fully embrace the blessings of Ramadan, placing special emphasis on the night of decree Laylatul Qadr. The National Leprosy and Tuberculosis Control Program under the Ministry of Health and in collaboration with its partners held a press briefing to commemorate World TB Day on Monday. On Tuesday, the Kombo South District Humanitarian Committee of the Gambia Supreme Islamic Council donated boxes of Qurans and catering utensils to the Gambia Prison Service. And in sports news, Gambia's World Cup hopes were dashed after a narrow 1-0 defeat to AFCON champions Ivory Coast in Abidjan on Monday night. That's all in this edition of QTV News. Thank you very much for watching. Join us tomorrow for more news and have a good night. Bye.